Guys, today we're back with the next part of What If Asia Ruled Instead of Europe. So of course, we're nearing the end of the series, obviously, but we're soon gonna have the Great World War II. This is the lead up to it. So this country here, Neld, the communist country, invades Monaco. This is a pretty bold move as this country recently gained its independence as well. Monaco is not a very powerful country, despite its large landmass. Its military is not too impressive, which causes the entire country to nearly collapse. Another country also invades it is Yami. Yami, wanting to get some land out of this, invades all of here as well, taking what would be territory that they have been wanting for a long time. Monaco's capital has been seized, but they start to subjugate, but they move the capital, but however the president moves to a more obscure area before they do. So this causes a very costly war for the communist country, and they do need some help as well. So they get Tavi, I think this is the country that colonized this little area here, Tavi to help defeat the other country, whereas they gradually oblige and defeat Bamako. Bamako, with its head between its tail, surrenders and is defeated 100%. So between the three countries, the country is split apart. Yami will get this northernmost land here. Nelda will gain this land here. And it'll be almost a complete straight line. Here, and Tavi will finally have an inland colony, a more inland colony in Africa. So that's the end of that short story right there. Next is Kanto's invasion of Rufu. This is a country that has existed for a long time, but Kanto's government basically wants to invade Rufu, and they take it out. They invade Rufu, which is not a very powerful country. It's a big country, but it isn't a very powerful country as well. They have a lot of land, but they don't really have a big military or population. They basically capture what is 90% of the country's population here, and they basically just capture what is 90% of the country's population, which means the country basically just collapses as well. Again, a country that has a very poor population density like this was not gonna survive very well. And Rufu is annexed into Kanto, which gives them all of this land here. However, they don't really they create a puppet state up here. Puppet state up here. And the capital is in the Water Settlement, and this is the Rufu puppet state up here, which is a puppet state of Kanto. Kanto is now becoming pretty powerful again. They took out this country over here, and they took out Rufu, so they could actually threaten the rest of China. Meanwhile, support Asao wants to basically take out Maki. Maki is not a very powerful country, so they're going to take out Maki as well and basically submit it into a socialist utopia country, basically. However, the next countries are two very powerful countries, so they can't really expand too much. As Obamaki is one of the oldest countries in China as well. Then they also invade Zeta and take it out very quickly as well, defeating them. Was they have been independent basically for centuries at this point, but they have been taken out by Sephora Asal. Here. Meanwhile, chaos in the Balkans begins. Dratavia wants to create an empire. So they invade Krika and Salmi's remaining land. Krika is taken out, is pushed back a lot. Meanwhile, Salmi's land, right here, is taken out. Salmi basically just puts a peace treaty here, saying, hey, we don't like this border. We will solve our problems basically and give you these areas so we don't have to fight a losing war. Which this is a pretty bad idea by Salmi. They could have easily defeated Batavia right there and now. Which will cause these three countries to form an alliance here. This is the Triangle Alliance. They form an alliance with Adonia. Here, because there's all these bigger powers surrounding. They have this Soviet equal. They have Dratavia down to the south and Salmi as well. With Salmi, does make an agreement to connect this little area here. Basically, Sakia does not have a coast now. These four countries are very weak, so of course they're gonna side of each other as well. Meanwhile, the Warpy Empire wants to take back its land, and they go after Gauli. This is a pretty bad move for Warpy, as this is a very internationally hated decision and choice, but they want to appease the country of Warpy as well. So they take back Gauli, and they unify the British Isles under the Warpy Empire. Meanwhile, in India, nothing really happens in India. So basically, there is going to be a great war in India. This is going to be, because there are two alliances in India. There's the Toman and the Dawson alliance here. And basically, one's going to come out on top. So Dosa, so it's threatened by Bolsa, which is allies of Toman. So basically, Dosa, Nairo, and Bisa go to war with Bolsa, Toman, and Continental. So the war becomes like this, where Dosa starts to invade Bolsa very, very quickly, alongside the help of Bisa as well. This causes both countries to, team up, basically. Meanwhile, the Continental wants to regain some of its land back from Dosa, at least regain some of its importance back as well here. And they basically create a Dunkirk moment where basically these forces are forced to leave here. And as of now, Dosa is kind of pushed back. This country never really lost that much. They were a minor power for a while, so, but the other alliance is taking over the as well, and they also invade Bisa as well, where they conquered the capital, and now they invade Nairo, where it is pushed back. Nairo makes a peace treaty with this alliance basically as well, so the Continental will gain this land, which is very important as this is some very, very populated lands here. This isn't a small area. Meanwhile, Tolman will not really gain that much land despite being the leader of the alliance. Meanwhile, Bolsa and Bisa will be annexed by Dos as well. And one of the oldest countries has been eliminated. Yes, Dosa has been eliminated. So, this causes the Triple Alliance to basically form a union as well, as they want to become the most powerful country in the world. And they call themselves the Continental Union. And basically, they are a they're a democracy. They are like one of the few democracies in the world. Meanwhile, Bisa is having some internal struggles as well. So, the country basically. First thing is the colonies break free. Yes, Bisa has several colonies still left. Bisa hands the African colony to Sifa, which is a country in exile. And this country Zendu gains its independence, which is this country here, because they're unable to maintain it. And this massive country simply just granted independence because this country is okay. Actually, you can make it like a Russian Civil War scenario. Okay, that's my idea. But this country is being held on by paper straps, basically. And this is going to be a big problem that happens in the World War, as this country is basically, it is one of the oldest countries in the world, but it is basically held by duct tape that is about to fall apart. So this country is about to fall apart as well, which means they'll lose their colonies here. Meanwhile, Pentanovan starts to reinvade their old states, which this causes massive problems amongst the Central American community, as Pentanovan is not supposed to do this. But the new radical Pentanovan government basically says, yes, we want this is what we voted for. And they take out Trudeau right away, which is again one of the weaker countries in the world. So they take him out here. So Trudeau is taking out one of the weakest countries in the world as well. And Pentanovan is now rebuilding its empire as well. They're rebuilding the massive empire they had. They also threatened my also joins is basically like the Answers in our timeline. So basically, Pentanovan is expanding relatively quickly. So not many countries are able to really stop the spread. Osai and these countries over here basically threaten, hey, you can't be expanding like this. You can't really be expanding like this. And Pentanovan, they joined this Blue Alliance, which is basically gonna be the allies as well. This Blue Triangle Alliance spreads for the east as these countries all seek protection. As Gatana Osai and Demonia seek protection from the new rising powers. Meanwhile, Pentanovan an old friend. Seeks some allies. So this could be the fastest alliance. They seek Kanto's help again, the Warpy Empire's help, no, and of course, no, and Warpy Empire as well. Which Warpy Empire is gonna now invade Wan, which is this country up here. They'll take it out immediately. They're one of the weakest countries in the world. So they do not really stand a chance. And now they're taken out. Now it's time for Warpy to now invade Ador. So they invade Ador with a very big navy, as they improved the navy a huge amount here. And they are now invading Ador very, very, very quickly. And Ador basically surrenders within a week, which causes alarm amongst the European community that there is a new, very bad country, and that the countries, because of the very bad economies of the Great Depression, this is causing several countries to snap. For example, Bisa is near collapse as well, or countries had to basically unify or declare war on each other to basically do something. But another country that's going to collapse is Oran. Oran's government simply just collapses and is absorbed by the neighboring powers. So Curiasa, which is this country here, annexes this area here. Sahi takes a lot of the desert, which isn't that valuable land, and Monama takes all of the valuable land. Monama is also struggling with its own internal issues, which has been for a while, mostly because the country has a lot of huge land and huge population. So basically, instead of having a king, because the king didn't really represent everybody, the king was getting very corrupt. So basically, a revolution took place in Monama by the people in its capital city to say, hey, we want a more fair government as well to represent everybody. Which includes the southern states, the northern states, and the peninsula, the Italian peninsula. And also because planes are just starting to be invented, basically, they get a travel from each country. So basically, now you're going to have a vote, you're going to have a parliament and a president to represent, and of course, section of balance is very similar to the United States. So basically, for example, there will be a House of the Senate, very similar to the United States. The House will basically based off population, and the Senate will be like, for example, this state here will get 2 senators. Meanwhile, this large state with very little population gets the same amount of senators. So it's basically, a very even system. So everybody gets a fair shot in it, which is a very good thing, given the fact that these governments here, are kind of basically, mostly still monarchies or fascist or something else. As well. Meanwhile, the CP's SR wants to continue to extend communism, and they want to basically take out the old homeland, but they have to go all the way across to Africa to fight them, so they don't want to do that as well. But they want to spread the revolution to other countries. They are basically friends with these two they do become friends and big allies with Equal. Yes, they do become allies in this Comintern pact, so they become allies. Oh, actually, this is the Comintern. Okay. We're changing the colors. Okay. Okay, this is the more fastest aligned country. Okay, the more fastest aligned country is here, and the more So this country joins is part of the alliance, and the communists want to take out Panone once again because they remember this large empire they used to have, and they just invade Panone with no warning. Meanwhile, Yami, which again is becoming going a national spur, is now invading Panoni as well, and Panoni is now taken out and will be split between both powers. As well. So the capital city will be annexed by Yami, and Nilda will annex the northern portion of Panoni. Once again, another time Panoni has been annexed by a foreign power. But what's going to be the powder keg for World War II? So there is one neutral country that has tried to stay neutral this whole time, and that is the Alp country. So this country is basically like Switzerland. They have basically stayed like this because everyone has respected their neutrality. Until today, when Fry invades Alp. This causes Asgarcia and Niastia to basically declare war on Alp, and also with this war is going to start World War II, as Niastia does not like this idea. As Garcia stays out of this, but Niastia, this is a very, they do not like the fact that they're just attacking this country for no reason. So Fry decides to get the ally involved as well, the Warpy Empire, because the Warpy Empire wants to take out Niastia's northern portion here. So it's basically a reverse World War II. Fusaka also joins against them, which is basically Germany. As well. And I think Niasia also owes these little colonies over here. So these colonies are now officially at war with the fastest countries. As well. And yeah, we might want to do World War III as well, but, and of course the Cold War. I think that series has a lot more to go, but this is the end of this episode. Goodbye.